Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Soul, and this is Pro W Soul, talking about no, it isn't WW, sorry. It is TNA Genesis review. Now, thank you for listening, first of all, whoever is listening to this, so I appreciate that very, very much so. So let's get straight into it. There was a lot to talk about. One thing was first thing was first, it felt very, very good. In terms of the promotions they did at the beginning of the actual event, where Dixie was talking to Magnus and Magnus was talking to the Spud as well. They were all talking together and they were talking about the guy who is going to come in and intervene, and he's an investor, and they were all thinking, who is this? And Magnus basically decided that it must be Sting. He's invested in this. There's obviously something going on. He's got a bit of money and he's invested in this. So he went down the rafter and then called out Sting and called him something I can't remember off the top of my head. But then Sting came out and called him a paper champion, and then Magnus slapped Sting, and then basically it just got physical, obviously, clearly, because then Sting laughed it off and then proceeded to smack him down, as Sting does with his hammer fists. And then suddenly, I think it was the Bro Down which were there, they decided to jump Sting as well. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Samoa Joe came out and said, I'm gonna be in Sting's corner, because quite frankly the match had turned into a no disqualification match, and therefore Samoa Joe was gonna be in Sting's corner, which is interesting again, because quite frankly I like it when it's like that sometimes. A lot of things happen and who knows who's gonna win in that situation. It's so damn unorthodox that you just can't help to look at it and go, well, yeah. Okay, so the next thing, well, they all went away after that for a bit, you know, to get ready for the match. But straight after that, Gunner was fighting some other guy. I don't know who he was fighting. You know, they basically, I don't know who these guys are, you see, and I don't care to actually talk about them, you see, because quite frankly they just seemed very, very redundant, and they're not interesting, these wrestlers. But apparently Gunner had the opportunity, well, like the Money in the Bank, which WWE does. Gunner had that title, that briefcase, and they were fighting again to get the damn briefcase, and Earl Hebner was the referee. And the match was an average match. It was decent. It wasn't brilliant, I have to say. It was quite you could snooze through that. I mean, the only good things were some of the high impact moves, such as the fall away slam from the top rope, and then the Hurricanrana, which he did from the top rope. The Hurricanrana, he didn't actually catch his head, he caught his waist and flipped him over. But it was still a good move, even from the top rope, so I gotta give him credit for that. But in the end, Gunner won the damn match. The way he won the match was really, really weird, because the other guy took the briefcase down, but because he never grabbed a hold of it physically in his hand, he didn't win the actual briefcase. Therefore, he didn't do it, and Gunner grabbed a hold of it, and Earl Hebner decided to give it to Gunner, which is fair enough. But I was so glad that the match didn't last long, because it was very, very boring. But anyway, what can you do? It's one of them things, isn't it? Now, the next match was an X Division Championship match, which was Austin Aries. He was fighting Chris Sabin. This was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't want to go too much into detail why. The only good thing was the ending, the fact that it just finished. But Austin Aries won the X Division Championship, the end of that. Now, Okay, Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode. Now, quite frankly, I have many times, talked about Kurt Angle and talking about him going, he should retire and he's not physically fit to do this and everything else. But after watching that match, he's actually made a little bit of a believer out of me. I still think he needs time off. I think he needs time off to heal his body properly. But in terms of the actual match itself, was absolutely crazy. Seriously, Kurt Angle really knows how to push it on a main card, and quite frankly, he did that. Again, it was a steel cage match, and as Angle would do, he went to the top of the cage and did a moonsault off the top of the cage. It seemed so high, and the fact that he did it, even now, it just seemed, when I looked at it, it felt suicidal. I'm so surprised that he did it, and he's still doing it. And he did it, and literally after about 1 minute, or within a minute, because Bobby Roode started to go out of the cage, he got up and dragged him back in and got him into the ankle lock, which he didn't tap to. Bobby Roode didn't tap to. But the match continued as well. Kurt Angle carried on, and he did the angle slam off of the top rope, and my gosh, it was just a good back and forth fight, because quite frankly, even Bobby Roode, he didn't tap to the actual ankle lock, and it seemed like he was gonna many times, but he didn't. And quite frankly, Kurt was going over the cage, and he was crawling down the cage, while Bobby Roode was trying to come out of the front door. And in the end, Kurt got over the cage quickly enough, and Kurt won the match. And you know what? And he's in the Hall of Fame for TNA. You were expecting that to happen. He's always going to be a legend. There's no doubt about it. Kurt Angle is a legend, but I still think, regardless, he needs a break. He keeps proving everybody wrong. There's no doubt about it. He is a definite superstar. There's no doubt about it, and he definitely knows he can go. But I would like to see him at optimum level, not at a pace where he's half asleep or his body's beaten up, but he still keep going on. And he can afford to take time off. He can he can financially afford to do that. And maybe he could try some MMA as well afterwards. I mean, he was trying for the UFC a couple of years ago, but he failed the physical examination, apparently, according to Dana White. Not according to me. In one of Dana White's interviews, that's what he said. So I think even Kurt Angle, if he does actually take some time off, I'd say a year personally, but I don't think he can, because he's just a guy who just keeps going. He just can't stop. He's addicted to it, and that's what he kind of looks a bit like how Ric Flair became, and Shawn Michaels, like the story of Yeller, the dog. He had to put an end to it, and I think somehow someone's gonna. I don't. God forbid this happens, but I think his career may come to an end somehow by getting injured or something like that if he carries on the way he's going. But that's just my opinion. I could be. He's proven me wrong. So he's proven me wrong completely, and I agree. He's proven me wrong, but I still think he needs to take some time off. But that's just me anyway. Okay. The next thing was the Bro Down came down and started to. I don't know whether they were rapping or they would, but they did a promo scene, and they had that other guy who does a DJ Dex, and it was bloody awful. It was absolutely awful. I have to say, the promos, what these guys were doing, it seemed so scripted. First of all, on top of that, it was just so pathetic and stupid, and it was just awful. There's nothing more I could say about it. But you know what? You have to give them credit for trying. At the end of the day, Not a lot of people try to do things, innovative things, and they definitely did do that, so you gotta give them credit for that. Now, Eric Young came out, and they started to beat him up for some apparent reason. I have no idea. I don't know. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, as he was getting beat up, Abyss came back, and he was like, "Yes, Abyss is back." So, because I haven't seen Abyss, I remember seeing him during the Mankind era of TNA, but yeah, I'm so glad that Abyss has back, and he cleared the house, and he was gonna chokeslam Eric Young, but he just pushed him away because he doesn't like Dr. Frankenstein, apparently, because Eric Young was the creator of him, or whatever it was. And Abyss is back, that's all you need to know. And then we had Rockstar Spud, who, by EC3 gave him a pep talk in the back, which looked absolutely stupid. And Rockstar Spud, to his credit, tried to be as funny as he could, but it didn't. It completely failed in terms of the, I'm the guy, I'm gonna beat him, as such, but clearly he wasn't. And then it was Rockstar Spud versus Samoa Joe, and all I can say about this match was it's horrible, really. I mean, it lasted not long, so probably longer than I'm speaking right now, there's no doubt about that. But Rockstar tried to, basically take him down at the beginning from behind, and then Samoa Joe, gosh, I hate that kick to the face what he does when they're in the actual corner and the turnbuckle. I really hate what Samoa does to their faces. He kicks them, and then he runs and kicks their face again. My gosh, if someone's gonna, I'll be honest, this is professional wrestling. If someone's gonna take that type of kicks and kicks to the face, you might as well go and become a MMA fighter, because you will be taking the same amount of licking that this guy gave you. There's no point, and you might not have to take it as well in an MMA fight. Whereas in a professional wrestling, you have to take that punishment, kicks to the face, and they're actually kicks to the face. It's awful, and he was doing it to Rockstar Spud. And the thing with Samoa Joe, he's a big guy. He's a complete big guy. He should just take it easy on the little guys, man. And he didn't do that, and that's one of the things I didn't like about Samoa Joe. What he did there, I remember once he did that to Christian back in the day, and I really hated it then. Christian's a skinny guy, and he took it as well. And you just think, why are these guys taking a whole load of punishment when they should just become an MMA fighter? It might, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, on to the main event of the evening, and the main event of the evening was, as what I was saying, was Sting versus Magnus. Oh yes, that's correct. And Magnus was having a war with Sting. Not really, it was a good match. They started fighting, I don't know where. Samoa Joe was outside, threatening people to come in, stopping them to come in, and apparently another tag team came in. It wasn't the Bro Down tag team. Some other tag team came down and started to beat on Sting, and then Samoa Joe's helping out, and it just became one big fight. Everybody was joining in, and then suddenly Kurt Angle came out and he started fighting, beating everybody up. Then suddenly out of nowhere, Bobby Roode came and clotheslined Sting from behind, and Magnus basically pinned Sting while Dixie Carter came down with grabbing a hold of Earl Hebner, and Hebner was going like, I'm not gonna do it, and she's grabbing a hold of him while he's walking. If he's not gonna do it, why are you actually walking down the ring? Oh gosh, you know what, wrestling's great, isn't it? Sometimes you get these stupid moments which are so priceless. You can't get him anywhere else. And Earl Hebner counted 1, 2, 3. And the winner of a match, as a result from pinfall, Magnus. And then Dixie Carter came in and gave the contract to Magnus, and Magnus, in no style whatsoever, tore the contract up. It was the most lamest way of ripping the contract up. I thought he would have done it in a bit of a style, but he just ripped it up anyway. I mean, at least he did what he said he was gonna do, and he's won the damn match, man. He's won the match. Now, onto this whole investor thing. Now, quite frankly, I've got two theories. One, Sting might be going to the WWE, which I really hope so. I really hope they've come to an agreement. However, I think right now the WWE has got many stars as it is lining up for WrestleMania. Hogan, Warrior, Brock, Batista. They've got a lot of people there already. What more do they need Sting for right now? And I don't know whether they really are going to get Sting, but I hope it happens. And I do not hope it happens against The Undertaker. If it happens, because we know what's going to happen. Undertaker's going to win, and then Sting is going to lose, and that's not what I want. At the end of the day, Sting's coming to the WWE. He's going to come for a win, and that's what I want. That's what I want. I don't know about you guys, but whether you guys care, but at the end of the day, Sting is... he's a legend, and if he's going to come down to the WWE once, why would he come down to lose on one occasion? That's just, he doesn't need the money. It's not about, it's just probably about respect. That's about it. But anyway, if he doesn't come to the WWE, what I think is going to happen is he's going to be the investor in the company. And quite frankly, he's going to run it the way he wants to run it, and he's going to be challenging for the title, and that'll make it more interesting. There's no doubt about it. This could be the case. If it is the case, you know what? I'm going to love it. It's that in TNA, that will be interesting. We'll see him with TNA Impact and whatever shows they have as well. Now, I just want to say thank you for listening to this, people. I really much appreciate it. Please like it, please share it, please comment, please share. I don't know what more to say, and I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you very much, and I much appreciate it. Have a great day, and tune in for more podcasts and videos from myself. Thank you very much. Peace out. Peace!